Hello everyone and welcome to another night of SCS. I'm Niz and you're watching NizCast. And it feels like it's been a while since I cast, so it's good to be back casting again, but we're going to have a little bit of a short night tonight. We only had 26 teams or 28 teams and mistakes were made. One sec.
I know you. Lena.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, let me start again. Welcome everyone to another night of SCS. I am Niz, you're watching NizCast. And yeah, like I was saying, we're going to be having a little bit of a shorter night tonight. Only 26 or 28 teams, I can't remember exactly. I think it was 26 teams though. So a lot shorter than we typically have, but it's a long weekend, so that's to be expected. But what that means is that we're only going to be casting 3 games tonight, as opposed to the usual 4. So we're starting off immediately in the quarterfinals. And we're going to be watching Noodle's Way, which we saw last tournament. They're going to be playing on the Dire side, and they're going to be going up against a team by the name of CWDD in the brackets, but they're going by Team Pikachu, and they're going to be playing on the Radiant side. Alright, so if we look at some bans, we've got Troll and Sniper banned out by Noodle's Way, and we've got Wisp and Bristleback banned out by Team Pikachu. So the Bristleback Wisp combo has been banned out by them, and that actually means a lot of pretty strong heroes are in the draft. And we saw Team Pikachu first pick Vengeful Spirit. Now they're deciding what to put with that. Maybe it's going to be a Bat Rider, maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. But Noodle's Way opened with a Pudge and a Lena, and I got to see a little bit of the game prior to this one as I was waiting for them to finish. And it looked like Noodle's Way, I believe they ran with the Pudge as a support. I just caught the tail end of the game, so I'm not sure exactly, but it looked like it was a support Pudge, and I'm not sure how they laned it. But yeah, looking to go with the Pudge once again. Team Pikachu is going to go as the Shadow Fiend this time around. And they've already got some good synergy there with the minus armor coming out from the Vengeful Spirit Wave of Terror, her second ability. And the Shadow Fiend, what's it called? Not Requiem of Souls. Presence of the Dark Lord, his aura. So lots of minus armor coming out from Team Pikachu. And that's going to allow them to, if they get the opportunity to, maybe they get a pick off or two, they could just probably jump into the Roche Pit pretty early and get a fast Aegis, but they are on the Radiant side, so it's a little bit more difficult. We have Axe and Medusa now banned out for Team Pikachu, and Noodle's Way banned out the Broodmother, and now we're just waiting on their 4th ban, but which is going to be Juggernaut. Broodmother's been seeing a lot of play recently. She's very, very strong in that 5th pick kind of position. And if you see a weakness with your opponent, maybe they're lacking wave clear, and they can't deal with the constant pressure coming out from the Brood, well, then it's going to be definitely a terrific pick. But you've got to have the lanes to support it.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, sometimes it can, like I said, sometimes it could be very, very strong
5 seconds
and help you keep pressure on your opponent. But other times, you know, maybe it can be a little bit of a liability because it's not one of those heroes that can come and team fight. You're always looking at trading towers for, well, maybe your own towers, but just allowing yourself to buy a little bit more time. Maybe you're waiting for something to come a little bit later. But if Brood can't push fast enough because you've got a lot of wave clear, then she's typically going to get out pushed, and then you're going to find yourself losing out on the trades. But either way, we won't see that as Brood did get banned. But Noodle's Way really taking their time with their 3rd pick here. They've already got the Pudge and the Lena. I'm guessing the Lena is going to be in the mid lane. And I'm guessing that they're going to run the Pudge as support again. So most likely they're going to be looking at picking up either their support here or their offlaner, because they don't want to give away too much. If they do pick up their offlaner here, they do give away that the Pudge is a support. But I think that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But I think overall support will be the best pickup here, and that's exactly what they're going to go with, the Dazzle. So the Dazzle is actually a great pick here. And what it'll do is it'll give them Weave, which will help increase their armor going into a team fight and during a team fight, which is going to help against all the minus armor that's already coming out from the Venge and the Shadow Fiend. The other thing that'll do is it'll give them a little bit of minus armor too, going against their opponent. So they're going to be hitting a little bit harder with their right clicks as well. But Dazzle is a very defensive hero. But
5 seconds
you know what? That kind of pairs well with Pudge, who's a lot more offensive of a support hero. So the Dazzle will kind of be your stay-at-home support, while the Pudge will probably be moving around trying to make things happen. Which means if you only have one support moving around, you're going to want heroes in your lane that are going to be able to do something when Pudge makes a play. Like if he can get a hook on someone, you need someone who can be able to follow up on that. Obviously, you've got Lina in the mid lane. That's a great combo. If you hook Shadow Fiend, he's pretty much going to die. Lina just has to land one spell and pretty much Shadow Fiend's dead. But besides that, you know, with your offlaner, maybe you want something that's going to line up a little bit more with the Pudge. And the same thing with your safe laner. You want that hook to pretty much guarantee a kill. Team Pikachu choosing to go with Lich as their second support. And what Lich will do is actually give you a pretty big experience advantage. And I wonder if they picked that because they wanted to either starve Lina because they were expecting Lina mid, or if they wanted to put Lich in the off lane and starve the safe lane of experience and gold. Sorry, one sec. Goofy's saying he's having a trouble with the stream. I'm just gonna make sure that's just on his
10
end.
10 seconds remaining.
I hope it is.
5 seconds remaining.
Oh, he said there you go.
Reserve
So
time.
we'll just we'll assume it's all sorted out and everything's working. And we'll just hop right back into
10
this. But it's going to be a
seconds
Phantom
remaining.
Lancer for Noodle's Way. So they have picked up their safe laner.
5 seconds
And the
remaining.
Dazzle's going to do what he can to keep that
Dire
Phantom
team
Lancer
back.
alive, to let him get a little bit more farm under his belt. Team Pikachu going to go with the Dro Ranger. So they've got lots of right-click damage coming out from this lineup. They've already got 4 ranged heroes, and they're probably going to look to maybe... Well, actually, they don't even have to add a 5th. Maybe a little bit more of a controlling offlaner.
Radiant team
Bat Rider will get banned out, so Noodle's Way not wanting them to have Bat. And surprisingly, Team Pikachu banning out
Dire team
Clockwork.
pick.
Clockwork actually would have been a good pick for Noodle's Way, and with them having the first pick in this last round of picks.
Radiant team pick.
Wow, okay. I was thinking that they could have gone with Clockwork, but no, they're not going for that at all. They pick up a Templar Assassin instead. So what that tells me is it's most likely going to be a TA in the mid lane, Phantom Lancer in the safe lane, and that Lina is not going to be mid. It's not going to be a core Lina. It looks like it's going to be support Lina. So it's going to be Lina and Dazzle supporting that Phantom Lancer, and then they're going to
10
have Pudge in the
seconds
off lane.
remaining.
And now Team Pikachu, ooh, going with an Enigma. Interesting. So it looks like Team Pikachu is going to have Shadow Fiend in the middle lane, Vengeful Spirit, Lich, and Dro Ranger in the safe lane, and then Enigma in the off lane. They may change that up a little bit. They may just throw Enigma in the jungle and put Lich off lane. We'll have to wait and see exactly how they choose to lane that. But either way, they've got 2 heroes that are able to deny one creep from their wave. So Noodle's Way is going to be struggling a little bit for experience in the early stages of this one. But we just need one more player to select their hero. And we'll be right on into this. As I said before, this is the quarterfinals. So we're only casting 3 games tonight.
Remaining.
But that doesn't mean they're not going to be good ones. And this is going to set us up for SCS on Sunday, which, although it is the long weekend, there is going to be a $100 prize pool on the line. So we should get a good turnout of number of teams and all that. But let's talk about this one, as we have on the Radiant side Team Pikachu, aka CWDD, if you're following along in the brackets. And playing their Dro Ranger is going to be Showstopper Sama. Playing the Enigma is going to be Little Green. Playing the Shadow Fiend is going to be LMFAO, who cares, haha, XD. Playing the Lich is going to be Zing. And playing the Vengeful Spirit is going to be Vitamin C. But we may have a clash here as both teams are going into the Radiant jungle. And it looks like Dire has forced a Radiant side back despite them being outnumbered by 1. The Phantom Lancer is the only hero on the Dire side who is not down here. Radiant, of course, has all 5 down here. But it doesn't look like we're actually going to have a skirmish. Dire's coming down here and placing the Sentry Ward to, well, in the Magic Bush location, so it'll block both these camps from spawning. And, yeah, it looks like we'll just kind of... Everyone will just go back to their lanes, and the bounty runes will get acquired. So that'll give us time to introduce the other side. We've got Noodle's Way on the Dire side. Playing their Dazzle is going to be Whom Your Daddy. Playing the TA is going to be Small Balls. Playing the Lina is going to be Super. Playing the Phantom Lancer is going to be Token. And playing the Pudge is going to be Noodles. And it looks like we already got some interesting lanes. It looks like we got Phantom Lancer up in the top lane going up against Lich. So it's choosing to put the Lich in the off lane. Dazzle's making his way up there as well. So it's going to be Dazzle and Phantom Lancer in the top lane. Mid lane we've got TA going up against Shadow Fiend. In the jungle we're going to have Enigma. And that leaves us in the bottom lane to have a 2v2 lane of Lina and Pudge going up against Dro and Vengeful Spirit. Now I don't think this Pudge is shown. Vitamin C looking like he was going to want to open up onto Super there, but choosing not to, and Noodles came out of the trees, so Vitamin C probably realizing that was a good call to not go in there. Of course, Pudge, I wouldn't say he's weak at level 1, because anytime you can get on top of someone with a rod, or even if you get a hook to pull someone really out of position at level 1, it could lead to a kill. But Pudge really, really strong once he hits 2. So they're going to look to try to get 2 on him as quick as they can. He's already halfway there. So once they have that available to them, they're going to be quite deadly. Small Balls went quite deep past this tower, and he took a little bit of damage. And Little Green even rotated out of the jungle to deal a little bit of damage to him. But he'll be fine in the end. And he's just going to get his bottle delivered and probably going to Bottle Crow that back. So he'll have some HP and mana. But both teams choosing to place an Observer Ward up on the high ground in this middle lane. In the top lane, we've got this Observer Ward scouting out the off lane. And the Dire side's got a similar ward as well. And keep in mind, they use a sentry to Magic Bush, and they also use a sentry to block this camp. So Enigma's going to have a little bit of a more difficult time farming up in the jungle. As Enigma's actually one of the strongest junglers, or at least fastest junglers in the game. And ooh, Noodles just passing Little Green, not realizing that he's there. Not sure if Little Green actually saw the Pudge, but oh yeah, Pink's coming out, so they did notice Noodles as he was walking by, and it's been pinged out. But Noodles is hasted. They don't know that it was haste that he got, and this Shadow Fiend needs to be a little bit careful. But it doesn't look like it's going to work out for Noodles, as he's just going to make his way back to the bottom lane, where he'll look to try and catch out maybe Vitamin C here, as he's been standing off to the side. And oh, he's going to rot and run at him, but choosing not to actually commit and go for it. As for this bottom lane, how's it been going so far? We've got a Dro Ranger at 9 and 9 CS, so not only getting some good denies, and the Lina's at 5 and 5, so the Radiant getting the better end of this stick. Or better end of this lane, I should say, in this 2v2 lane.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
As I just miss First Blood, which actually happened in the top lane. I'll get there in a second. As Phantom Lancer dove past the tower and got the Lich. Saw it on the minimap, but I was thinking that maybe mid was closer, but that was obviously the wrong call. But yeah, in the mid lane, we've got Shadow Fiend at 14 and 6, and TA lagging a little bit behind at 11 and 4. But not that far behind. She'll still be in the game. So nothing too big to worry about there. Now that Noodles is kind of parked himself in this bottom lane, it looks like the Lina is able to get a lot more CS. She's starting to catch up. Since we last checked in, she's gotten 4 CS and 2 denies, whereas the Dro has only managed to get 2 denies. But like I said, Phantom Lancer dove past the top tower, getting that first blood onto the Lich. And that was without Whom Your Daddy being there. He had rotated away. So we got a new face in chat, Ward 2005 Socks. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you enjoy the game and enjoy the cast. As we have Team Pika going up against Noodle's Way. Supa getting some good damage into Showstopper Sama, but looks like it's going to go the other way, as Showstopper Sama is going to get the kill, but Noodles is going to get the return kill, and then he throws the hook and gets the double as he picks off Vitamin C. So it's going to be 2 kills in the bottom lane for Noodles Way. They did lose their Luna, but it'll work out better for them. And now Zing getting some good damage onto the Dazzle, but getting forced to back up here. And typically it's okay to trade like that as an offlaner, because, well, sometimes you can get an XP a regen advantage, and that'll allow you to get a little bit more XP. And oh my gosh, Zing almost getting a kill into Whom Your Daddy, but now it's going to go the other way, and he's going to go down. His Token's going to jump in on the Phantom Lancer, throwing the lances. He gets the kill. Whom Your Daddy was so close to dying. I don't think he realized. I'm sure he realizes now, but this Observer Ward could see him. He was parked there. Lich was here, so vision was blocked by the set of trees. But that Observer Ward, of course, gave it. And Whom Your Daddy dropped incredibly low. I'm not sure exactly how low it was, but it was definitely sub 50, 50 HP. So one right click and he would have gone down. He did go for the right click, but Dazzle was able to get the heal off and lived as a result. So Zing has died twice in this top lane. And he does have his Tranquil Boots up now, so that's quite good for him. Surprisingly, he put his 3rd point into Frost Blast here. Typically, a lot of offlane Liches like to actually put the 3rd point into Sacrifice before the 3rd point into Frost Blast. Just because when you get this up to level 3, if you look at the cooldown, 44, 36, 28. Of course, your creep wave comes every 30 seconds. So once you get it down below, from 36 down to 28, you can use it every single wave. It makes it a little bit awkward when it comes to controlling the creep wave at 36 seconds. But you do lose a little bit of power in your lane, especially when you're kind of going in a 1v1 up against a Phantom Lancer most of the time. You'd lose a little bit of power in your lane by only putting the 2 points into Frost Blast rather than 3. Oh, Noodles has been stunned up in the bottom lane, but we're going to have the Lena stun coming out onto Vitamin C, but it's not going to work out for them. They lose not just Noodles, but also Supa, as both offlaners go down for Noodles Way, and nice rotation from Little Green there. It looked like it was going to be a very close battle, but with Little Green rotating in from above, he pretty much ensured that was going to go their way. And that puts them up to 3-4 in terms of hero kills. They still are behind. But I think with how the lanes have been going and the fact that they've got an Enigma, they're going to be getting more out of the lanes to begin with. We'll wait until around the 10-minute mark before we take a look at exactly what the gold graph looks like. But I imagine the Radiant side is going to be a little bit ahead despite being down a hero kill. Shadow Fiend making his way into the jungle just to farm up those creep camps while he's pushed the wave. And pushing the wave is actually one of the things that TA struggles a little bit with. If you constantly push the wave and keep it up on her tower, she doesn't really have any way to push it back, so she's often last hitting under her tower, and it's just a way to kind of force the creeps onto her and burn through refraction charges. But we had a smoke getting used here. Noodles with a nice hook will land onto Vitamin C. They'll get the kill there, and now they're going to look to get another one on Little Green, as Small Balls has picked up the haste rune, and he's going to chase him down. Little Green will go down. He's just looking to deny to the neutrals, doesn't get it, as Lena will get the kill there. And now they'll even farm up the Eidolons and the neutrals and make their ways back to their lanes. But in the meantime, Shadow Fiend and Dro have come together in this middle lane to beat away on this tier 1 tower, which will go down. Shadow Fiend will get it. Noodle's not able to deny it. He just went for the kill, and he started with a dismember, but his team wasn't able to get there in time to help him out. He will get low, but he'll back away. And now we've got a little bit of battle here between Supa and Showstopper, but above that we also have a battle between the Shadow Fiend and the Dazzle. But neither hero will fall. And I think now we'll go back to how we were laning, as Supa just hanging out around the bottom rune. And this is very dangerous walking up like that, but oh, he actually knew. He had vision from this Observer Ward. So he knew that the Dro was on low HP, and of course with Laguna he will get that kill. So a good play from Supa. That looked risky,
Top tower is under
very, very
attack.
risky. But yeah, he had this observer ward, which as the observer you'd think I would know that he had vision there, but of course he knew that he had vision there, and he was definitely making the right call. And he landed a kill on probably, I'd say, the second most valuable target in the game right now. I think Shadow Fiend's definitely the most valuable hero to kill, but a kill on Dro is definitely worth it as well. Well, it looks like Small Balls is going to run right up onto this Shadow Fiend and get a little bit of damage in, but it looks like he took the worst of it, as we just hit the 10-minute mark. Shadow Fiend's going to be getting Bounty Rune up in the top location, and Illusion's down in the bottom, but we've got a battle down here as Noodles is going to go down. Little Green getting the kill on the Enigma. And now we'll bring up our gold graph, or actually no we won't, as it looks like Shadow Fiend's going to be going for that rune, but Supa's going to beat him there. And I think Supa's going to commit to the rune, but he doesn't know what's on the high ground, and he's going to get stunned up by Little Green. And now Supa's standing in a Roche pit looking to deny to Roche, but not able to do so. And he'll go down. He really didn't have any way of getting out of there. It was either try to deny to Roche, try to run through bottom, but he already saw that the Dro Ranger was parked up here farming the creep wave. So that didn't really look like an option. Maybe he could have tried to do like one of these, but I don't think he would have been able to get out of there in time. But now they're going to look to push the bottom tier 1 tower, and this is one of the things that you can do when you have an Enigma on your side. Enigma hops out of the jungle, helps you get a kill, and then you can go into the wave, into the lane, and push with the demonic conversion, creating those Eidolons, and towers just melt so quickly. And now with that tower, last hit on Little Green, they're going to have a mech completed as well. So let's take a quick look at our gold graph, and we can see Team Pika, or CWDD if you're following along in the brackets,
Let's get intimate.
they're definitely off to a good lead here, but nice hook there coming out from Noodles, as they got the kill on the Shadow Fiend. As I was mentioning, that's probably one of the most important targets, and almost landing another hook as Showstopper just TP'd out in time. That was very, very close. Snowballs, or Small Balls, was pushing in the middle lane, and we're gonna have Black Hole use, just catches the Templar Assassin on the outside, on the very, very edge of that. But because it was on the very, very edge, that meant there was not much damage coming out from the Black Hole, and it's going to be a turnaround here as Little Green's going to go down, with Whom Your Daddy and Noodles arriving on the scene. And now on the back of that, they're going to not only clear the creep wave, but look to push the tier 1 tower. But it does just get denied by Showstopper Sama. I didn't think that it dropped down to deny range, but apparently it did. So good play there.
Top tower is under attack.
Well, yeah, that'll bring the net worth down a little bit as it gets closer to even, but still about just over 1,000 gold lead for Team Pika. And if we switch over to the XP graph, it's about 1,000 XP as well in their favor. Switching over to the net worth, we can see our top net worth in the game is the Shadow Fiend, and we're going to see our Phantom Lancer go down here. Zing chooses to throw at the Chain Frost and gets the kill there. But Token's still doing okay on that Phantom Lancer. He's their second highest net worth in the game at 5,200, but that's 1,100 behind the Shadow Fiend. And, well, even with their Templar Assassin, so they're actually not that far behind on their cores. The real difference in this game is actually the fact that they just had a jungling Enigma. That's pretty much the difference in net worth this game. And of course the tower gold has helped a little bit, but it is actually even. It is 2 towers apiece. Vitamin C getting slowed up by the trap. Small Balls will blink in. This is a blink dagger TA. It's not something you see every game, but definitely a build I like. And that means that this TA is going to want to go and fight and pick people off. So hopefully we're going to see her start snowballing, and we can see a lot more action. We had a TP to the bottom lane here. We've got Zing and Little Green standing behind Showstopper Sama. Looks like they're just going to look to push this wave, as we've got a 4 staff getting completed on the Lich. We've got that mech on the Enigma, and Showstopper doesn't really have much, just the the Wraith Bands, two of them, and looks like he's going to have his treads any second now. And of course he's got a Ring of Aquila as well. But everyone making their way down here as Vitamin C has arrived on the scene with Tranquil Boots. And now the Shadow Fiend's down here as well with his Yule's Scepter finish. And he's going to, with this invis, look for someone. He's going to find the Lina, who will immediately get blown up from the Requiem of Souls. There's no chance of getting the Shallow Grave off there from Whom Your Daddy. The tower has gone down in the meantime. The Drow Ranger getting the last hit there. But that's a double kill for the Shadow Fiend as he manages to pick off the Lina and the Dazzle. And with that, they're just going to back away. And I think that was probably the right call, as the Phantom Lancer was pushing away in the top lane. So Shadow Fiend choosing to TP back and not only stop that push, but also to force to farm up a little bit of the creep wave and force the Phantom Lancer back. Well, let's take a look at what we've got on the Dire side. Well, we've got that Blink Dagger on the TA. What does the Pudge have? Not much, just a Chainmail, but he does have Arcane Boots, so that's pretty significant considering this is a more supporty Pudge. We were originally thinking that maybe in the draft that the Lina was going to be core, and there was like, okay, maybe the Lina is a support and the Pudge is an offlaner, but how they chose to lane it looks like the Lina is going to be their position 3 and the Pudge is going to be more of a position 4, so you can't really expect him to have too much gold. As for the Dazzle, he just has a Sentry, set of Sentries, and Boots of Speed. He's playing a lot more the position 6 role than the position 5 role, as he's a little bit poor this game. And Supa on the Lina almost done the Yule Scepter, so getting close to that. And that just leaves the Phantom Lancer. Token almost done his Diffusal Blade, as he's got 2 Blades of Alacrity. And the Courier's flying something out. That's going to be the Yule Scepter for the Lina. Now, it looks like Radiant's going to try to gather up here on the top lane, but the Dire knows exactly what's happening as they start with a hook on to the Shadow Fiend, who, oh my goodness, he gets Laguna from Super, but the Yule Scepter comes out in time, so he actually disjoints the Laguna. Of course, Laguna gets put on cooldown. It just didn't deal any damage, and as a result of that, they're going to be able to turn this around, and Zing's going to get the kill on to Supa. I want to say that was a huge play, but frankly, I think it was just kind of a panic play coming out from the Shadow Fiend. You realize you're going to be in a bad situation. Your team's going to be coming to rescue you, so you just try to Yules yourself, and the timing just lined up so that he ended up immuning the Laguna. But another series of events there that just seemed to work out for the Radiant side, and they're not happy with just that tier 1 tower. They're going to keep pushing to this tier 2. And will the Dire side be able to defend this? Whom Your Daddy making a rotation down into the mid lane, now choosing to go back up as they realize, oh, they are indeed still pushing. Noodles and Supa making their way there as well. But they've got small balls in the bottom lane. He does have a TP, but not really that much mana. No bottle charges either. So I have a feeling they're just going to surrender that tier 2 tower. Tokens in the mid lane with no TP either. And there we go. The tier 2 has just gone down. The Shadow Fiend getting the last hit there. And they're still up here. Are they just going to push tier 3?
Radiant's middle tower.
I think they may. Token now making his way back. Just now will have enough to finish his Diffusal. Small balls blinking forward, but not really looking to actually fight. Just maybe to get a little bit of harass damage and try to force them back a little bit. Just to buy time for their Phantom Lancer to make his way back into the top lane. And just, well, hopefully to push them back like it did. So they'll get a little bit more time, buy a little bit more time for their Phantom Lancer to get a little bit more farm. Well, I think he needs more than a little bit of farm to start taking over this game. But we'll have to look and see what Team Pika chooses to do here. As it looks like they've got a BKB finished on the Shadow Fiends, just going to be flying in with the Courier now. Is that we almost have the medallion finished for Vitamin C, so more minus armor coming out for them. And where's the Courier going? Okay. There we go. Just delivered the Yasha to the Drow Ranger, and now it's going to deliver that BKB to the Shadow Fiend. Ligma has a Blink Dagger to go along with that mech. Zing has 4 staff and now Point Booster, so he is going to be looking towards building an Egg Scepter. Noodle's picking up a Robe of the Magi, so gonna look to reflect some of that damage with the Blade Mail. Small Balls has since picked up a Mithril Hammer. Be interesting to see what he chooses to pair that with, whether he's... I mean, he's got 1,700 gold right now. Does that mean he's looking to buy another Mithril Hammer to build into a Desolator? Or is he going to be going for a BKB? So we're going to see another tower go down here, and it's an undefended one again. As Noodle's Way looking like they're just going to be content with just defending their high ground. The problem is with all this minus armor from Team Pika, they can immediately hop into the Roche pit and kill Roche so fast. They know, because of this Observer Ward, that that's exactly what they're doing. And now we're going to look for them to come back down, but there's already a good place Radiant Observer Ward there. I believe Noodle's Way knows that that's there. So they will smoke up as they walk past it, but look at that. The Roche has fallen so fast that they're not even able to get there in time. The Aegis will go onto the Drow Ranger. And they'll hope that someone comes up here onto the high ground. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. But they do notice this rotation from the Drow Ranger. And they're going to look to pick her off. And claim that Aegis immediately. Now Showstopper will get Yulesed up. And there's pretty much no way out of this one. Well, maybe actually as they jump in. Zing's going to get dismembered. We're going to have the Shallow Grave going on to Noodles, keeping him alive. But in the meantime, we do lose the Dazzle. There goes the Aegis. It's going to respawn now. And into a black hole. Lands Small Balls out of that Yule Scepter. And he's going to go down there as well. So we lose 3 heroes on the side of Noodle's Way. The Radiant side only loses 1 hero, but it's effectively 2 because of the Aegis. But the fact that they have 4 heroes alive means that they're going to continue trying to push. As they're going to try and break up into the high ground here. And start chipping away at this tier 3 tower. They have to wait for their creep wave to come. And it's just going to join up with them now. They do have a catapult with it as well, so that'll be nice for pushing the tower. Supa ideally wants to step up and nuke this creep wave down so that they're not able to deal too much damage to the tier 3. But you have to be a little bit careful with your positioning. And that's pretty much all that was done there. Just 500 damage to the tower. So Team Pika playing it safe, realizing that we're still really early on into this game. So respawn timers are pretty short. And they should feel like they're in quite a commanding lead, and I imagine it's going to somewhere between 5 and 10k lead. Yeah, it's about 7,500, almost 8k lead in favor of Team Pika. XP just over 5k, so they're definitely ahead on both fronts. And certainly when you look at the structures on the map and map control, you can tell that they're ahead there as well. Smoke gets used by Noodle's Way, but immediately it gets popped as they're finding themselves in a 5v5 battle up against Team Pika. Little Green doesn't have Black Hole available to him as he's about to fall to the Phantom Lancer Illusions. Token finding himself a little bit separated from his team as he's to the bottom right now, but we will have Shallow Grave used onto Supa, and that'll actually just be the end of that fight as Team Pika realizing didn't work out for them. They lost their Enigma early on. And no reason to keep going with the fight 4v5 when the other side hasn't really used any big cooldowns or anything like that. So you're not really at an advantage despite being down a man. So no reason to force it. They're going to back away. And this is actually one of the luxuries of still having some towers up, such as your tier 2s. They've got their tier 2s up in every single lane. And that's one of the luxuries of this is, you know what, if you lose a hero, maybe you can back up and sacrifice one of these towers. If that happened, say on the other side of the map, and you've lost a hero and you don't have your tier 2, you just have your tier 3s, then maybe you have to kind of take a stand around your tier 3s. It depends at what point in the game. Sometimes you'll actually just have to sacrifice racks because it's worth losing a set of racks rather than losing the game. But they don't even lose that tier 2 tower in the mid lane. As Noodle's Way doesn't really have that much by way of pushing or even physical damage to really bring down a tower quickly. That will come to them as they get a little bit more items onto the Phantom Lancer. Right now, all their damage pretty much comes out from Small Balls. And we can see now that it's going to be a BKB getting picked up by Small Balls. Still in the stash, so not actually on the hero yet. Zing about 1,400 away from finishing that Egg Scepter. We already have that medallion finished. Looks like it's going to be a BKB for the Enigma. Although I guess that could build into Egg Scepter as well, but most likely a BKB for the Enigma. And Shadow Fiend Low picks up an Eagle Song, so he's going to be after a Butterfly. And I think that's a good choice, because there's no real natural MKB carriers on the Dire side. You know, you look at TA. Does she typically like picking up an MKB? No, but in this game she may just choose to, as it's going to be the only way that she's going to be able to deal reliable damage to the Shadow Fiend. And she'll now just be able to see that Eagle Song, and that'll actually probably influence her next item choice, which I believe will be an MKB. As for the Phantom Lancer, he's not really in a position where he's going to be able to build an MKB. So the Shadow Fiend's going to be a little bit protected from the Phantom Lancer for quite some time. Small Balls is going to go back to actually pick up that BKB. We've got an Urn on the Dazzle. What else have we got? Still no Blade Mail picked up by Noodles. Token with the Yasha building into that Manta. And Supa looks like he's going after the Egg Scepter on the Lina, which is always your pretty standard choice for Lina. You get the Yule Scepter, you run around, you Yule's people, drop them into the combo, and then you just allow your ability to kill people and to farm so quickly to get the Egg Scepter up, and you just can keep doing the same thing just further and further into the game. But things actually haven't been going too well. There we go. For Supa this game. He's just 4, 5, and 3. Doesn't really have that snowballing going for him. He's just level 11, about to hit level 12. And, you know, you look at the TA on his side, level 15. You typically want the Lina to be able to keep up and have a little bit of that level advantage, because, well, her ability to kill people is all in the level of Laguna Blade, and you want to be basically an ultimate rank ahead of your opponent, so you can kill them very quickly. With that said, though, Laguna is still very potent. 675 damage coming out from that. Of course, combined with the combo, you're looking at about 1,200 damage. That will easily kill the Vengeful Spirit. The Enigma is close. Whether or not the Enigma will be able to get the mech off is important, and it'll almost kill the Lich as well. I'm not sure exactly if it's 1,200 damage. I think it's actually a little bit less, but yeah, they're close. We got a lot of people hiding out down here in the jungle. I'm not really sure why. They're obviously looking to set something up. They must have potentially seen a smoke or something, because if you take a look at all of them are playing very defensively. We've got them hiding down here in the trees, hiding there. We had the TA hiding there, and then the other two were up on the high ground. So they must have spotted a smoke or thought that there was a smoke or something. But now it's going to be a smoke coming out, and it's right under a Dire Observer Ward, so they know exactly what's up, and they're going to go right back to hiding, as you can see them all returning to their positions that they were just hiding in. But Team Pika is actually just going to march straight down the middle lane. They're not going to find anyone. Where are they going with this? It's going to be the end. They're just going to check Roche. He couldn't potentially be up yet. He can be up now. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a fast Roche spawn. And that's it. They just checked to see if it's an immediate Roche spawn, and it isn't, so they're going to back away. But as we can tell, it's going to be up in just a few seconds here. As there we go, Roche will spawn. And the Dire side still hiding away. As this gives us time to bring up our gold graph, see how everything's been going. It looks like Noodle's Way has managed to stop the bleeding and kind of narrow the gap a little bit, as it's gone a little bit below 7,500 gold lead for Team Pika, and XP has come down a little bit as well. It's about maybe 3,500 or so in favor of Team Pika. As for items, we've got a Manta that's been finished on the Drow Ranger. The Enigma's got a Blink Dagger and a mech, still working towards that BKB since picked up his Mithril Hammer. The Shadow Fiend has finished the butterfly. He's got a BKB and a Yule Scepter to go with it, as well as a double damage bottle up. So if they get into a fight, that could be very, very scary. We've got Lich, still hasn't finished the Egg Scepter, but I imagine he's going to be getting pretty close, as he's got a Staff of Wizardry, and just needs a Blade of Alacrity to finish that. So about 900 gold away from that. And then we've got the Vengeful Spirit with the Medallion. Not really making too much item progression, but it's a support Vengeful Spirit. It's got to be doing a bunch of warding. And we've got a smoke coming from the Dire side as they're going to start charging up onto the high ground. They just see the Lina, and they have to imagine that there's other heroes behind. As Shadow Fiend's going to come out. He's just popped the smoke onto Whom Your Daddy. So they definitely know what's up. And they're not going to go charging on into that. As for our Dire side, what do we got on the Dazzle? We've got, well, an Urn still, and the Tranquils. And we've got a BKB and a Blink Dagger on the Templar Assassin. The Lina has now finished the Laguna. And we've got a hook on into the Roche Pit. And then we've got the Laguna coming out, but it's a Laguna onto one of the Manta Illusions. And now a swap down onto the low ground to potentially save Showstopper. But Small Balls will be able to get that kill onto the Drow, but will respawn with the Aegis. And now Small Balls is just going to sit there in the meld. But he will get dusted out, and he's going to go down as a result. So 2 heroes go down for the Dire side. And the Radiant just loses the Drow, but once again has that Aegis, so was just able to pop right back up. And I feel like we've seen this before, as now Team Pika is going to march down in the bottom lane and try to further chip away at this tier 3 tower. While they do that, let's quickly finish the items, as we've got the Yule Scepter and the eggs on the Lina. Phantom Lantern has finished the Manta to go with his Diffusal Blade and got another 1,000 gold on hand. And Noodles has since finished the Blade Mail on the Pudge. Looks like we are going to lose this tier 3 tower here. Glyph will keep it alive for a little bit, but it's just going to go down in a matter of seconds there. There we go. Shadow Fiend getting the last. Looks like we may have an engage, as Showstopper is going to take quite a bit of damage, but he will get swapped back to his team. And then once again, we have the Egg Scepter flying out. Egg Scepter Laguna Blade flying out from the Lina. I don't see who it dealt any damage to. Maybe it was on an illusion again. We're going to lose Noodles. Shadow Fiend about to fall. He did potentially save himself with the Yules, and in fact he did, as that last auto attack coming out from the Templar Assassin was not able to deliver the killing blow. Left him with about 44 HP. And they successfully defend their high ground, but they did lose their tier 3 tower. And if that happens again, and it's going to be a set of racks, not a tier 3 tower. So they're going to have to be careful going forward. But it is worth noting that the later and later we get into this game, that means there's been more time for Token to farm on this Phantom Lancer. And a Phantom Lancer with a little bit of farm becomes a very, very scary Phantom Lancer. So don't count them out of this. Token can definitely bring them back into this by spawning 1,000,000 copies of himself. And there we go. Zinc just finishes the Egg Scepter on the Lich. So we're going to have even bigger Chain Frost. He's going to buy a smoke as well.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Team
attack.
Pika looking to try and get one of those pickoffs.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Radiant gathering at the bottom tier 2 to defend it, but it was really just chip damage being dealt by Noodle's way. As they just forced out a glyph and immediately backed. What did Whom Your Daddy do in there? He just walked into the Roche Pit. I don't know. I don't know what he was doing in there, but he went in there and then TP'd away. Maybe he just thought that they were getting chased, because he was down in the bottom lane. So maybe he just thought that they were kind of chasing, and he just wanted to TP away. So he hopped into the Roche Pit and started that channel. Well, this one's slowing down a little bit as. I wonder if both teams are waiting for Roche or what they're doing here. As it's a pretty clear lead for Team Pika. As well, they're not going to wait. As they're going to smoke up. And once again, charge down this bottom lane. This time looking for a pick-off down here. But immediately, Noodle's Way knows what's up. All 5 heroes on their side are inside their base. So they're not going to find anyone. This could be a giveaway in a matter of seconds, but they already clearly know. And, well, another successfully dodged smoke gank. Interesting drawing on the map coming out there. Maybe Noodle's Way looking to do a little bit of wraparound play. Ooh, they're going to buy smoke after that, so it looks like they are going to try and wrap around and try and catch their opponents off guard. At least they have that available to them. The drawing on the map was kind of like this. They were going to come around in behind. So we'll have to look and see if they're going to try to do that. But they are still staying up on their high ground, making sure that they don't push out too far. The problem with doing this is, yes, you're playing safe, but at the same time, you're maybe playing too safe because you're not going to be able to get the farm that you need to stay relevant in this game. And you're just going to fall further and further behind in net worth. But they've since pushed out. They're regaining a little bit more of the map and allowing Token to farm a little bit more. As we can see. Once again, the Radiant all gathering in the bottom lane. They really want to push this high ground. They've got the tier 3 down. The racks are exposed. And oh, they're actually going to pick up a second butterfly. So it's going to be a butterfly on the Drill Ranger. That's a kind of a natural item pickup for her. That means an MKB is going to be even more valuable. We already have a Demon Edge on the Templar Assassin. Got 2,000 gold, so still 1,000 gold away from finishing that MKB. And you know what? Even if she had that, I don't know if she'd buy it, because I think buyback is so important right now. But it is still on cooldown, so maybe she would buy it. And here we go. They've broken up onto the high ground. They're going to start by beating away on the range racks, and it's going to go down. Now the melee racks could go down. Glyph's going to come out.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They've got to look to engage here at some point. But no, the racks have gone down. In the meantime, the top tier 2 tower has gone down to the Phantom Lancer, who will TP back. Now Radiant will back away. Team Pika choosing not to stick around too long and get picked off. They're playing very safe and structured Dota. You know, why did we go bottom? Well, we went bottom because we want to take those racks. So they got there, they took the racks, and they said, okay, that's what we got. We got what we came for. Let's back away. Let's not try to overextend or anything like this. We can just prepare the lanes again and try and push. They actually came up here on the high ground to potentially look for a pick-off, but it didn't happen. So now they'll go back and prepare the lanes, as this top has been pushing quite far. And I'm sure they'd like the gold there, but it doesn't look like they're going back. A satanic finish for the Shadow Fiend. So many pings coming out, my goodness. Both teams realizing that Roche could potentially spawn. We're right hitting the 8-minute mark of when he was last killed. Well, it's going to be another fast spawn, 22 seconds. And he'll be up. Pretty much right at 38:40. That Roche is going to be up. And you pretty much have to think that this is going to be a Roche for Team Pika. They're just going to be able to force Noodle's Way back up into their base, and then they'll be able to rush to Roche. But Noodle's Way should know what's up, and they're going to try to get something done. They're going to lead with a hook here. Noodles getting a nice hook off onto the Drill Ranger. That's going to give him a kill off to the start, right before the small balls did by the MKB, so he's going to be a lot more effective in this fight. The black hole has gone out already, and frankly, this is looking really good for Noodle's Way. It looks like they're going to be able to potentially bring down the Shadow Fiend here, or maybe not. Token's having to play a lot more defensive, despite having the shallow grave. And we just lost the Dazzle and the Lena. And pretty much
Dire's
the
middle
3
tower
remaining
is
heroes
under
on the
attack.
Dire side are all low HP. So it looks like they're going to back away. The Shadow Fiend, low HP as well. Looks like he'll back away. He does have Satanic, but it is still on cooldown. So maybe in 10 seconds he'll be able to get his HP back up a little bit quicker. But surprisingly, everyone else on this Radiant side has TP back. They weren't really that low on HP. But they haven't checked Roche. There is a Psionic Trap in there, so the Dire knows it's up. But Radiant didn't actually check. I think they're going to assume by now that Roche should be up. Because this has been basically 9.5, almost 10 minutes since he could potentially spawn. Double damage down there as well. And looks like Shadow Fiend's going to snatch that up. Using the flutter effect from the butterfly to give himself a little bit more move speed while making that play. And now Noodle's Way is going to be sitting in the Roche Pit. It is spotted. Their movement into the Roche Pit did get spotted by this Observer Ward. So their opponents know that they're in there, and now they have to be really careful. They do have a lot going for them, though. Black Hole on cooldown, and they lead with another good hook. This time it's on the Shadow Fiend, but a better swap comes out from Vitamin C. He does go down as a result, but that saves the Shadow Fiend, and at least allows them to get a return kill onto Noodles. And now they're going to be beaten away on the TA. Who's going to go down? And now Roshan's going to go down. That's going to be an Aegis for the Shadow Fiend, and this is not looking good for Noodles' Way. That is not how they wanted it to happen. They were hoping that they were going to be able to sneak a Roche there, and they led with a nice hook, but like I said, it was a better swap from Vitamin C on that Vengeful Spirit. And now, Team Pika will look to push down the mid lane and potentially claim their second set of racks, as of course they've already gotten the bottom set. But maybe Noodle's Way will be able to defend this. They do have their Pudge respawning. The Vengeful Spirit's also respawning, but she'll have to walk across the map. So it's going to be a 4v4. But it's a 4v4 without their Templar Assassin. They've already lost a tier 3, going to lose the range racks, and soon the melee racks, but nice hook coming out onto the Lich. With the help of Laguna, they're going to get the kill there, but like I said, they just lost their set of racks, and they Yules up the Shadow Fiend, but then as soon as he lands, he pops the BKB, and then they retreat. Maybe a little bit of a wasted BKB charge there. But Noodle's Way will take anything that they can get. That BKB now down to 5 seconds. So Shadow Fiend may be potentially a little bit vulnerable in these upcoming fights. But he does have that Aegis, so maybe not that vulnerable. Well, what do we got on Token? What is he going to bring to the table to be the saving grace? He's got an ultimate orb and 4,000 gold. So that's a Scotty, I'm assuming. And is that going to be enough to keep them in this game? So like I said, we had the MKB picked up, not last fight, but the fight before. And, well, Small Balls kind of got trapped in the Roche Pit. He was kind of in there, and then with the hook and everything, the team backed out, and there was a whole fight around here, and then he just kind of got separated. There was like a whole wall of Radiant heroes here, and the TA was just separated as like John Madden all over the map. Looks like we're going to lose Noodles here. Or are we? Will that? Oh, yeah.
For me.
That damn illusion. 140 HP illusion. Brings him down low enough that the rot will kill him. And now they're going to have to look to defend without their Pudge, but it's 30 seconds until he's back up, so the fact that Pudge is under-leveled actually helping them out a little bit here. Vitamin C dropping that sentry ward not on the pillar, and that's actually something I want to point out a little bit. If you have vision or have the ability to have vision up there, there's actually no point in putting the sentry up there. It just gives you less vision or less detection area. Like detection up here doesn't really help you. Detection over here doesn't really help you. So placing a sentry ward down there gives you detection in more important areas where a potential ward could be, but typically if you're going to ward in this area, it's going to be up on the pillar. If you're Noodle's Way and you don't want to look to de-ward, well, there can be obviously a ward up on the pillar, but the other ward location's here. And a sentry ward actually doesn't catch both if you place this one high enough. Well, we got a whole farm of psionic traps on the ground. And this could be our final fight, as it looks like Team Pika have chosen to potentially push the high ground here. We've got the BKB Blink Black Hole ready on Little Green. So he's going to look to jump on in here and try to catch someone. But it has been Noodles has been initiating most of these fights with a hook. He is smoked up now. And they may look to get a kill on the Shadow Fiend. As keep in mind, he does have the Aegis. Hook is off the mark.
Please, leave me something.
Shadow Fiend somehow hasn't gone down. We are going to lose the Enigma before he's able to get a black hole off. That was a good pick off for Noodle's Way, and I think Team Pika will just actually back away. But maybe they're going to get committed now, as the Drill Ranger is going to get tossed up in the air. And now they're going to try to focus her down. She does get the silence off, pushing everyone back. And now she's on very, very low HP, 180 HP. But so is the Shadow Fiend, but now he's going to pop that Satanic and come back up in HP. We've since lost the Drill Ranger and the Lina, as well as the Vengeful Spirit. Now we're going to lose the Lich. They're going to look to get the kill on the Shadow Fiend, who is trying to chase down the Dazzle. He'll get his kill, but looks like Noodle's Way is going to get the kill on that Shadow Fiend. As keep in mind, he does have that Aegis, so he will come back. He's going to Aegis or Yules himself up in the air to delay it a little bit. But I imagine as soon as he respawns here, he's going to go down. I don't think his BKB is going to be up yet. No, 20 seconds still, and yeah, he's going to go down.
Tower is under attack.
So Noodle's Way manages to hold on, not lose another, well, their last set of racks. Their tier 4s do take a little bit of a pounding here from the creeps pushing in both the bottom and the mid lane. But the most important part is that they didn't lose these racks. And more importantly, they didn't lose this throne. So they are still in the game. And it's a little hard to tell exactly how strong Noodle's Way is compared to their opponent right now, because
middle tower has been denied.
The team fights before were looking very Team Pika favored, but we saw a pick off on the Enigma almost immediately to start that fight. So there wasn't a mech, there wasn't a black hole available, and that's pretty big. And on top of that, it's been a little bit subtle, but it's always pretty much been there. Little Green's been spawning these Eidolons, and he's been parking the Eidolons in front of the Shadow Fiend so that the Shadow Fiend couldn't get hooked. If Noodles tries to throw it a hook, he was going to hit an Eidolon instead of the Shadow Fiend. So good play there coming up from the Enigma. It's been happening pretty much all game, but without your Enigma alive, you kind of lose that versatility as well, that option, that utility, I should say. Oh, nice hook there coming out from Noodles, as making use of this observer ward that they just placed there.
Do not stand against us.
And every pick off like that is actually quite significant because it buys them more time. That means that's 45, 50 seconds, almost a minute, frankly, that Team Pika is not going to be able to push. But they've also just picked up two pretty important items. An Eth Blade has just been picked up by the Drobo Ranger, but more importantly, the Refresher picked up by the Enigma.
Middle tower has fallen.
But then again, Refresher isn't really going to help you if you get blown up immediately at the start of the fight. So Noodle's Way will look to get that. But I guess we should just take a look at the gold graph and see exactly where we stand. 12,500 or so in favor of Team Pika. It has come down a little bit. It was over 15,000. Almost getting close to 17,000 there. And XP's actually come down to basically even. And we get a Yules getting picked up by the Dazzle, so whom your daddy has a little bit of a defensive item, but he may actually choose to use that offensively if the time calls for it. I have a feeling that he's going to look to stay back a little bit more in these team fights. If you step up a little early on into the fight, it's very easy to go down as a support. And he's going to look to probably stay back, make sure he gets a good weave off, make sure he can throw out a good shallow grave. And we see a lot of players do is they step up a little bit too far on Dazzle, they throw out the shallow grave, they do a good job of saving a teammate, but then because they've used a shallow grave, they go down. So he'll look to stay back in the team fight and look to actually become a bigger part in the team fight after those BKBs have been used. Keep in mind, it is a 5-second BKB for the Shadow Fiend. I don't know what Enigma's is at. It's down to 7 seconds. They're going to try to catch out Token here. They are going to use Black Hole, and Token is losing his HP really quickly, but there's the Shallow Grave. Unfortunately, the hook is just a little bit too short, so they're not going to be able to hook Token back to safety. Token's got no HP, tries to get the kill onto Little Green, but just isn't able to reach, and he's going to go down. He does have buyback available. TA also has buyback available, so we've lost a support on either side as well as those 2 cores, but those 2 cores are going to buy back. The supports don't have the ability to buy back. Noodles gets a hook off onto Vitamin C, so both supports are down. I shouldn't say support because Lich was the offlaner. But Noodles is going to jump forward, go after Showstopper, and he's going to get the kill there. But now the target is the Shadow Fiend, but Shadow Fiend getting those right clicks off onto the TA, forcing her back, but Token has completely surrounded the Shadow Fiend in illusions, and well, he manages to get a right click off and get the kill onto Supa before he goes down, and his explosion from his death, the automatic trigger of the Requiem of Souls goes off and actually manages to get the kill onto the TA as well.
Dire's Ancient is under
And
attack.
the Shadow Fiend actually bought back immediately. He has Boots of Travel, so TP'd on up into the top lane to keep some pressure on these lanes, but that is a buyback that isn't available to him. And I certainly don't think he can push with himself and just the Drow Ranger, but maybe they're just going to look to go with the Enigma. Enigma just refreshed, and the Lich. Vitamin C TPs. He's going to place some wards up on his way there. But he does need to get there because it looks like his team is just going. And yeah, they're just going to charge right up onto the high ground. They're going to go for the throne. They don't care about the racks anymore. They realize that TA's buyback is on cooldown. She's not going to be able to come back in the game. They don't know about the Lina, but she can't come back either. Oh, actually, she's still on cooldown, so they may know. Black Hole's going to come out, and they're just going to right-click down the throne. This is going to be it. Team Pika's going to take it. Good game gets called. And we saw Noodle's wave before, but we're not going to see them for the rest of the night. As Team Pika advances to the semifinals. Keep in mind, this was just the quarterfinals. We do have 2 more games after this. So we're going to follow Team Pika into the next round. They're also going by the name of CWDD in the brackets. And they're going to be playing whoever won between Dust and Overachievers. So that, they're definitely going to be going up against a good opponent, as we've seen both those teams quite far, and especially Overachievers. They've been pretty much making it to the finals or winning SCS almost every week recently. So they're definitely going to be going up against a formidable opponent. I'll actually check the brackets right now to see exactly who they will be playing against. And it's going to be Dust. Okay, so Dust manages to knock off Overachievers. And we're going to see Team Pika go up against them in the semifinals. Once again, I'm Niz. You're watching NizCast. Hopefully you enjoyed that cast. And we have, like I said, 2 more games to go. I'm going to throw it to our waiting screen in just a second. But while you wait, make sure you hit that follow button, twitch.tv/NizCast. Also follow on Twitter @NizCast and YouTube, where I upload the VODs, youtube.com/NizCast. But I believe the lobby's already getting made, so I'm going to toss it to that wait screen real quick, and hopefully we'll be into it. And hopefully you'll stick with us.